Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Pod Z CCG. This is Brandon.
This is Brad.
This is Jordan.
This is Logan.
This is Sam.
So we've got the kids with us today, and we've got emails to talk about. Some pretty crazy emails. We've got our DBZ question of the week, Visiting the Past, our new segment, just about random stories of our life that may or may not include some Dragon Ball Z. We have our tournament report, the deck doctor, and Panini card of the week, Orange Crashing Drill. Is that a real card?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For Pansy?
Yeah, I think so.
It's
Okay.
the one Goku staple.
I just randomly picked an orange card. Because orange needs its time on this show. It doesn't get any love, so I was like, I'll just pick the first orange card I see because all orange cards are great.
Okay.
And I put my finger on the Pansy website and pointed, and it said Orange Crashing Drill.
Okay.
And there's no way that the Panini website is going to copy us again and do Orange Crashing Drill. Because 2 weeks ago, they tried to copy us with Orange Possession Drill.
Yeah, it was like the day of or the day after our episode dropped. They all of a sudden reviewed Orange Possession Drill.
As their card of the
It's
week.
kind of fishy.
It's very fishy.
So what does our first email say?
Okay, so our first email is from Brandy Hart. She writes, "Hello guys, I'm a new listener. I heard about you from my friends at FanQuest."
What's FanQuest?
I actually looked it up. It's a comic book store in Arizona somewhere.
Okay. Sounds like a convention.
Yeah,
Like a fanime.
like Kubla Khan.
Yeah.
I heard about you guys from my friends at FanQuest. I listen to quite a few podcasts at home or at school, but usually don't write into the show. I have to make an exception this time. The original Monster Bill and Yuba City stories had me laughing so hard. I really do like the balanced stories and game talk. I know one of you guys are married, but is the other one? Keep up the great stuff, and I hope you guys stick around for some time. Much love from Arizona, Brandy, and she did a less than sign and a number 3 for heart.
Oh, I thought that was an ice cream cone.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, it could be an ice cream cone.
Yeah.
Like double scoop. Logan, is that a heart or an ice cream cone?
People call it as a heart.
Oh, okay. And he did the air quote. Does that mean anything when people do that? Like if someone gave you a heart, do you just like whatever? Or
Yeah, he gets so many of them at school. He's just like, whatever.
It means like XOXOXO.
What's that?
Kisses and hugs.
Hugs and kisses.
That doesn't make sense,
It's
but
hugs
okay.
and kisses.
Not kisses.
That's what I said.
Same kisses and hugs.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
No.
What the hell's going on here? You're getting bullied by your kids.
Well, last time I checked, kisses and hugs were the same as hugs and kisses.
Well,
But hugs and
backwards.
kisses sounds better.
Yeah, so Brad, am married, and Brandon is married as well.
Yeah.
You've been married for 5 years?
Yep.
I've been married 15 years, and yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Alright, so our next listener email comes from another repeat guy. Remember Justin X Skull X15, who we thought was...
Either a child or a foreigner.
And I remember saying that someone who's not native speaking.
Yeah.
And I said Australia is not native English speaking. I meant the Aboriginals, not the people who speak English. Yeah, that's a good cover-up.
Yeah.
So, this Justin writes, "Hello, I play DBZ. I am 18 years old. I made my email address when I was 15. Makes sense. That 3 years ago. I am from the Netherlands. Sorry for my broke down English. I will fly to America and kill you for your insult.
That's crazy.
If you cannot tell by my tone, I am sarcasm and only playing with you guys."
That's a relief.
You should have just cut out the rest of the email.
No.
Just left it there.
My question is, what other card games have you interest in? That's some crazy email this week, like I hinted at. The first game
We have a stalker email from Brandy Hart, and now Justin Skull wants to kill us.
Yeah. And it's only episode 9.
Yeah.
The first game we got onto was Magic when Mirage was released back in 96, I believe. We were freshmen in high school. Our mom would take us to Empire Comics and Games to get a starter deck of Magic. And we didn't know about the whole booster pack thing. Like, for some reason, we thought we got better value in starters because you got more cards. We did have 2 decks, a white-green deck that focused on Vitalizing Cascade and Asmira, Holy Avenger, and a blue-black deck. What was that deck's focus? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I think Drain Life or something.
Yeah, Drain Life, and then Dark Ritual.
Dark Ritual was in there, and some Sewer Rats, and some Black Fog thing. And some black, like, behemoth-looking thing, Black Intinger or something, I don't know.
Uborg Panther.
Yeah.
And then we found out a few months later that a new set was coming out called Visions.
Oh, man.
We were like, wait, you mean there's a new expansion? Like, there's more cards than just Mirage? We didn't know that there was probably 10 sets behind Mirage that we had to collect too. And since being collectors, there's no way we were going to be able to collect every Magic card. We only did it for casual play, and whenever someone from our class would ask if we played Magic, we'd say with a snarky tone, yeah, we do, but we only play Mirage.
Yeah, we were like, you play other sets, we only play Mirage. Like all hoity-toity, like above them.
There's actually in my art class, in freshman year, this guy at my art table, there was usually 5 or 6 people to a table. His name was Brian. And he had a cool Magic deck. It had like 4th edition and all these like Arabian Nights and stuff. And his prize card was something called the Helm of Obedience. I just remember it was a blue card. And I think it took control of one of your opponent's creatures. And it had a distinct water stain on it, so you knew it was his. And it ended up missing like halfway through the year. Like before winter break, I think. And he accused me of it because I sat right next to him and I was into Magic, but I was like, no, I didn't take it. And then that kind of put a little stint in our relationship because he thought I took his card. Near the end of the year, this kid who sat next to me named Rodney Tyner pulls out of his wallet a Helm of Obedience.
Out of his wallet?
Yeah. And he's like, I don't know how, I don't remember how I got this card. But it's got this mark on it, and it was the same water stain that was on Brian's card.
Yeah.
And when Brian was like hecka apologetic to me, like, oh, he's the one who took it. Give it back to me, you thief. And he gave me some cool cards for it for accusing me. But that was pretty crazy. We left Magic pretty soon after Mirage hit. And we got back into Magic when it was a Kamigawa block.
Look at you with your fancy Magic talk.
Yep.
Like, oh, I played Kamigawa. I played Dragons of Talker.
Yep. Heck, I like talking to dragons. And I had a blue ninjutsu deck, just for fun. Brad had a red, burn deck they call it or something?
Red ping deck. I later learned it was called a ping deck because you ping your opponent for damage.
Yeah.
Like, ping, I do 1 damage to you with my fireball.
We decided to take these awesome decks to Abrams and enter a tournament. It was like the worst experience of my life.
It was a slaughter.
Oh, man. We went 0-2. And after the second round, we're like, we're just going to drop Abrams.
Not just 0-2. It was 2 out of 3 games, and we lost 2 out of 3 games. Like, we had no wins. So we played 6 games and didn't win 1. Or 4 games, I guess.
And it was just, I couldn't stand the loss. We did collect some of the unhinged or unglued set.
Oh, those cards are hecka tight.
Yeah, the broken cards that aren't legal for play. Like the big furry monster.
And the paper tiger and the rock lobster. Rock, paper, scissors.
Mm-hmm. We then got into Pokemon at the first base set launch, and that was fun. We only played here and there, really, and collected most of set 1. Until, guess what? A new set was released called Jungle.
Jungle set.
Like, come on, do you really need a new set for Pokemon? I think they already had the 150 in there.
Yep.
So we stopped that because there was no way we were going to start collecting Pokemon. And then there was a first edition of Pokemon that we only had a Machamp of. Like, everyone had a Machamp because it came in the starter deck.
Yeah.
Then in 2001 came DBZ. And then 2003 and 2004 came The Simpsons. That game was hecka fun.
I never played it.
Yeah, Josh got me into it. I still have a sealed box of set 1 somewhere in my house. It'd be cool to crack open and make some decks. I think that Simpsons is the only game where, like, the art box variation, just like the cards from the TV show, is more expensive than the trading card game.
Yeah.
Because I saw, like, Season 2 art box cards going for, like, hundreds of dollars, and this is just going for, like, $10, like I said, for a starter box, or a starter deck, or sealed booster box.
Crazy.
And then I always wanted to try this game called Hecatome. It had all these demons on hexagons, and you could build decks and stuff. And I actually put a bid on it on eBay. I found 2 starter deck kits and 13 booster packs for $10. I hope to win it, but I noticed that shipping is like $8. So if the guy can't lower the shipping for me, I'm just going to cancel my order.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm paying more than like $12 for all that.
Yeah.
So what do we have for DBZ question of the week?
This week we have, what is your favorite moment in Dragon Ball Z? I guess we could just go around the table. I'll start, and then we'll go to Logan, then Jordan, then you, then Sam.
Okay.
I know most people's favorite moment is when Gohan turns Super Saiyan 2 and defeats Cell, but mine takes place during the Saiyan saga. My favorite moment is the whole Nappa fight. Nappa was picking off characters one by one. Not even Chaozu's Kamikaze or Tien's Kikoho or Tail Grab were enough to defeat him.
Isn't when he did the Kikoho and I guess his dying blast, Nappa just hit it away and said, "My arm stings a little bit."
Yeah. No, that was, it hit like his shoulder or something.
Oh, okay.
You really did feel like the Z Warriors were in trouble because there was no way they could defeat Nappa. And due to the emphasis on power ratings, it made Nappa even more terrifying. Because as the series went on, they kind of got rid of power levels. So there was, you couldn't tell who was stronger than who. You really did believe that there was no way the Z Warriors could win, and no matter what they did, you just hoped Goku would get there in time before too many of the favorite characters were killed off. And that's when Piccolo saved Gohan and became a hero.
Yeah, that was my favorite part, was when Piccolo saved Gohan.
Yeah.
Even though Gohan sucks, and Piccolo shouldn't have risked his life for him, he did it anyway, and that was my favorite moment. What about you, Logan?
When Gohan turns angry when he's Super Saiyan 2, he just walks. He looks at the Cell Juniors. He karate chops them and he just explodes. I had it as my background for my tablet.
Oh,
You just
okay.
see Cell Junior explode.
Okay, so when he takes down the Cell Jr. and he walks and just chops him.
It's like a tight.
What about you, Jordan?
Okay, my favorite moment is when in the Frieza saga, when the Ginyu Force comes and like everybody's getting like killed, and then Goku ends up coming and then just like destroys them all. It's just kind of like amazing to me how he could get like probably, what was it, like he was probably at like the 9,000 range, like somewhere around there in Saiyan Saga, and then he gets to like 150,000 in like a matter of like a month.
Yeah, that 100 times gravity really
Zenkai
helps.
boost.
Yeah. What about you, Sam?
My favorite moment is during the Frieza saga when they first experienced the Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
It made the series just completely change and added a lot more.
Yeah, because then it showed different levels of power.
Yeah.
And plus, you like the fact that Krillin died, huh?
Yeah. But I was gonna normally choose the part where Piccolo saved Gohan, but Brandon already took that.
Oh, you could have said that. Just say, yep, I agree with that. That's the best. Two out of 5 people agree, so that makes it the majority.
Alright, so we'll be back in just a few moments with Visiting the Past. Don't go anywhere. Pod ZCCG. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Pod ZCCG. We're in Visiting the Past now. Brandon's got a story for you, and then I will follow with another story. So here you go.
So the title of this story is Life Lesson from a Nervous Virgin. So I was 25 at the time, living with Brad. I had just moved out with some roommates because they were awful people. And my Honda, I had a Honda, had just broke down, and I did not have a car to my name yet. So Brad thought I needed a little love in my life, and is it you who set me up on this date?
Well, I wanted to play Cupid. Someone at my work, Rachel, I could tell she kind of had a crush on me, and I was like, well, obviously, since she can't go out with me because I'm married, I could set her up with my twin brother.
The next best thing.
So I was talking to her about you, and she was like, well, how open-minded is your brother? And I was like, he's pretty open-minded. Because she was African-American, so she didn't think that you would go out with her.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
She thought I was a racist honky from Rio Linda.
Yeah, that's right.
So what happened was we were going... I didn't want to go on a one-on-one date with her because I really never dated anyone. So I wanted to do a double date. So as you, Karen, Rachel, and me, we all, since we lived together, she came over and the night started up with a trip to the movies. It was one of the Scary Movies. Was it part 3?
No, Scary Movie 4.
Okay, so Scary Movie 4 had just released. So you and Karen left in your car, and since I didn't have a car, I just jumped in her car and she drove me to the movies. This is when I started getting a little nervous because instead of going to the movie theater, she passed it up. Me, never wanting to be late for anything, was getting very anxious. I have to be early to movies, especially for the previews. I don't know why. I always have to be there at least 10 minutes prior to even the preview starting, just to get comfortable, get my seat, and get ready to see a movie. It was around 8:10 at night, and the movie was starting around 8:20. We make a right-hand turn, and we turn...
Past the movie theater.
Yeah, past the movie theater, into a liquor store parking lot. I figured she was going to get some cheap snacks because snacks at movie theaters are pretty expensive. But I could have got her snacks at the theater, even though it was overpriced.
You would have been there early, so it would have been worth it.
Yeah, and I would have been a gentleman and got her something, of course. Even though I'm extremely cheap, and my kids could attest to this. Like, our dryer just broke down.
Because they didn't clean out the lint trap.
Yes. So instead of buying a new dryer, I hung up 3 long pieces of rope in the backyard, and now our dryer is solar-based. Which actually saved us a lot of money on my SMUD bill. I checked out our energy bill, and it was only $58 compared to the usual $80 or $90 a month.
Secatite.
Yeah. And even like backpacks and binders, the kids want to go school shopping. I always try to get them to go to the Goodwill.
Yeah.
Because it's like $1 for a binder and $1.50 for a backpack compared to $15 for a backpack. And
no, it's $40 now if you don't get the JanSport.
Yeah,
oh, that's
Jansport's
dumb.
high quality.
Even with food, like I always go generic. Their Eggo waffles are $2.38. Why pay $2.38 when I could get them waffles for $1.98? Sunnyside.
Eggos taste so much better though.
It does. I'm not eating them.
That's true.
And like hot dogs, like they like Nathan's for some reason. Probably because they're the best hot dog out there, and they're like $3 to $5.
Yeah.
And I get them the 98-cent turkey franks. All right. We walk into the liquor store and pass the snack aisle and goes up to the counter. And she says, "A bottle of Hennessy, please." Which is a bottle of alcohol.
Wow.
And she kind of like looks over at me like, "Aren't you going to get this?" Like kind of looking. And then I back up and go down the snack food aisle.
So that bottle of Hennessy breaks her gentleman threshold.
Oh yeah. $25 for something I'm not going to drink? You got to be kidding me. So she kind of huffs and pays the $25 bill. We get back into the car and make our way back to the theater. It is now 8:14, and we are stuck at a U-turn light that takes forever to change. We finally get to park, and it's now 8:20 on the dot, the time the movie starts. I rush in, get the tickets, and then get to the concession area. She said that she was going to get a drink and ask if I wanted anything with her hand out. Like, give me 5. I'm like, give me 5. Give me 5. So I'm looking at her. I'm like, okay, it's 8:22. I'm missing the previews probably. There's no way I'm going to wait in line for this candy thing. I don't have cash. I'm not giving you my ATM or my PIN number. So I slap her 5 and say, nope. I'll get our seats. You could get whatever you're getting. So the gentleman status went out the window. So I grabbed 2 aisle seats and start watching the previews. I did see you guys a few rows down, but it was still pretty full, and most of the seats were taken up.
Yeah.
Dad, was it a fun time for you?
Yeah. I had fun.
Luckily, you didn't get
Brandon
any
was having
liquor.
like a nervous breakdown.
Oh, the nervous breakdown hasn't even begun yet. So she comes in about halfway through the previews and is sipping on her drink.
She bought a big drink.
Yeah, a large Coke, pretty heavily, like taking some deep drinks. Like she has been thirsty for hours. She asked if I want some. I say sure. So I take a few gulps and notice that it tastes a little funny. Like maybe the syrup ran out or it wasn't carbonated all the way. And then my stomach starts burning. I tried to run down the reasons why this would happen. Like, did I eat something bad? Was the soda bad? And nothing made sense. I hadn't eaten anything that was out of my norm. I think my usual Chinese food meal was what I ate that day. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
Every day I'd go to this place called Hunan Garden No. 2, which was right down the street. One of the greatest Chinese food places ever. I ordered the same thing every time I go there. Honey walnut shrimp and a side of cream cheese wontons. These weren't any old cream cheese wontons.
No.
They were sweetened. They were so delicious. So I give her back the drink. I'm like, man, my stomach. And then she opens up the lid and she pours in more alcohol, I guess, because at this time the bottle was nearly empty. So she poured the rest of the alcohol in there. And that was the culprit. I really don't drink a lot. Especially at this age, I was, 25?
Yeah.
And I had my first drink at 22 and really wasn't a drinker. I sat there with my stomach on fire and I told her, I was like, man, my stomach's burning. And she reached in her purse and pulled out some pretzels and said it would help. I did feel a little drunk during the movie, which was really weird. But I ended up sobering up halfway through and the pretzels helped. They helped my stomach and the burning went away. So after the movie, we decided to go to Chevy's for dinner, but you didn't want to go.
Heck no, I didn't want to go.
Chevy's are good.
Yeah, but it was Cinco de Mayo.
It was Cinco de Mayo, and it was crazy busy. Now, Brad and I don't like crowds at all, and if I had a choice, I would have just went to Taco Bell. But I decided to push through the torture and go with her. I do drive because
She had a whole bottle of Hennessy in her gullet.
yeah, she still had the cup too, so she wasn't done with it. So I didn't really trust her to drive, even though she said she was fine. So we get there, we eat some food. I believe I ordered the same thing I always get, fish tacos with a side of flautas. And it's just extremely loud in there. Mariachi music, loud-ass people just yelling and all this stuff. And I'm feeling like a nervous wreck now. Like a female cat during her time of the month, surrounded by 16 lions ready to get on me. We finish. I pay because, like I said, I'm a gentleman, and we leave. We get into the car, and this time she drives because she didn't have any more alcohol. She did have her cup still, but she left it in the car. She said, you know, it's too late, and I don't want to drive you all the way back to Orlando to drop you off, so you're coming home with me. I was like, alright, that's fine. I wouldn't want her to go out of her way to drop me off. It would have been like a 40-minute trip for her, like 20 minutes there and 20 minutes back. So we get to her apartment, and we go up the stairs, and she tells me that her son is with her grandma that night.
Uh-oh.
This is when things get interesting, and when my life lesson comes in. Always wear underwear on a date. Now, at this point in time, I never really wore underwear. Like, after I turned 18, I just stopped wearing it for some reason. And it went on for years. I just didn't care. I was like...
An addiction.
It wasn't an addiction. It was just like, why do I need to buy underwear when my pants are just fine?
But I'm not wearing any underwear right now.
Actually, I started wearing underwear again. So we go up the stairs and walk around. I walk around the corner, like the bend of the corner to get to her apartment. And I lean back against the rail because it was kind of narrow so she could walk by. And she opens up to invite me in. And as I leave the railing, I hear a rip. She's already inside and doesn't hear this. And what had happened is I leaned against a crooked nail and it hooked my pants.
She planted that there.
And when I started walking, it just ripped my pants.
Everywhere?
I'd say from the middle of my butt down to like right above a little bit above my knee.
Oh.
And it was narrow, so I could still hide it. But still, if I positioned a certain way, my butt would have been showing and everything. Heck of embarrassing.
Your butt and your scrot.
Yeah. So we get into the living room, and I sit down on the couch very nervously because I didn't want her to see my rip. She asked if I want anything to drink. I said, no, that's all right. So we were going to watch a movie in the living room, but this house or apartment only had one TV throughout all the rooms, and it was in her room at this time. So she asked if I would move the TV into the living room.
Now, was this a flat screen light TV or is it a box TV?
Are you kidding me? This thing was one of those 82-inch mega tubes that weighed 200 pounds that it was just so bulky and hard to carry. So I look at her and I say, you know what? I will take a glass of that water because she was going to be behind me the whole time. She would have saw my rip eventually. So she goes into the kitchen and is making me water. And I grab the TV and just rush out to the living room. But as I'm walking, because I'm going fast, I take a large step and rips it even further. The rip is now from my buttocks to just below my kneecap on the backside. So it's like the whole bottom's ripped out. It'll be impossible for her not to see anything. So what I do is I put the TV down, I plug it in, I hook up the DVD player, and I tuck my tear in between my legs and keep my legs closed so she can't see my butt or anything.
Yeah.
And that way I could waddle around and not like...
show your business.
Yeah. So then she gives me the water, and then she goes to the bathroom, and I sit down and she says, can you come help me? My light bulb burnt out. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So she already has the light bulb out by the time I get there, and she has a new one wanting me to so I'm going to visualize it. She wants me to reach up and put the light bulb in, but in order, I have to put my leg on the sink, my knee on the sink, and reach, and she's sitting behind me. So
everything would have been hanging out.
Yeah. So what I do is I pull a Brad and say, I can't reach it. I barely put the light bulb into the socket and say, I can't reach it. And she looked at me because she's shorter than me and she was able to get it out. So she fiddles with it some more. I go back to the living room. She eventually gets it put back in. So she goes into the back and gets a bunch of movies, and she pulls out this one called Four Brothers with Marky Mark. I was like, that's fine, put that in. So I sit back on the couch, tuck my pants in, and then she sits down. She said I could lay down on the couch, so I lay down on the couch, and she sits next to me on the floor. And I'm, trying to make sure nothing's falling out, keep feeling, and she's like, I must have been like a drug addict, because I kept fidgeting, and she's like, are you fine? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine, don't worry about it. So then, about 10 minutes throughout the movie, she's like, can you give me a back massage? And I can't remember why she needed a back massage. Because I was like, what did she hurt her back on? She seemed fine at the movies. She
got alcohol in her. She's not feeling pain.
Maybe she hit her back fixing the light bulb or something. I don't know. So I could obviously tell that she's liking the back massage I'm giving her. And she's telling me how good of a job I'm doing, and I'm like, well, okay, like kind of touching her. Like, I know I'm not giving a good massage, but apparently she digs it. So I finish with the lotion and everything, and then lay back on the couch. And then so at this point in time, she says, you know, you could take your pants off if you want. I don't care if you're in your underwear. And I'm like, I'm not wearing any underwear. Like, no, I'm okay. It's fine. She's like, no, my son walks around in his underwear all the time. No, that's all right. She said, I walk around in my house with underwear all the time. I said, no, that's all right. So then about a half hour goes by. I'm falling asleep. And then she says, you know, I'm about to go to bed. You could come to the bed with me if you want and sleep there. I don't mind. I don't care. And I was like, no, I'm just going to sleep on the couch.
Most people don't want to do that.
And then so the next day, I wake up. She wakes up. I'm still, you know, hiding my butt from her. And she takes me home. And then I don't think we ever go out again.
No.
Yeah.
That was pretty funny.
What if she noticed?
She might have. Maybe that's why she wanted me to take my pants off. Alright, so that was my story. So, like, always wear underwear on a date. First date with a girl.
Always wear underwear in general.
No, not always. I don't wear it when I swim.
Sleep?
Oh, I sleep naked.
Sleep naked all day, every day. That's funny. This next story kind of involves no underwear, too. The next story may be a little offensive or gross to some of you. I do apologize in advance if it offends you. Guys are gross. We do gross things and don't think twice about it. The following story is titled, An Unexpected Surprise. Brandon and I like to frequent thrift stores from time to time and find old NES cartridges, Dragon Ball Z cards, and other treasures. With the internet, it's proven quite difficult lately to find these forgotten treasures. When a rare game has been found, the prices are always jacked up to current values, or even for just having Mario in the title, it constitutes a $15 plus price tag. So lame. Anyway, one night Karen and I decided to go to the local, well-known thrift store and see what we could find. I was going commando with black gym shorts on, and we were walking through the store. I felt a very uncomfortable itch appear where the sun doesn't shine.
And those basketball shorts, they're the material, when you get sweaty in those,
Yeah.
oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It doesn't soak up like cotton.
No. So my butt really started to itch. I must not have wiped well on my last trip to the bathroom.
It's kind of gross.
I mean, that happens to everyone, right?
Everyone under the age of 10.
No, come on.
Jordan.
It happens to Jordan.
Yeah, it happens to everyone. You don't wipe as well, and then your butt starts to itch.
And it hurts.
Happens to girls too, I
Turns
bet.
on fire.
It turns on
I
fire.
had it.
Yeah, see?
It turns on fire.
Yeah, your butt turns on fire and you just want to itch it. But I didn't want to use my hands because I had no underwear on, and if I would have itched through my basketball shorts, it would have just made a mess.
And I bet your hand wouldn't have smelled too good.
Yeah, I didn't want to have to explain my stink palm to Karen. Anyway, it didn't matter. We wouldn't find anything here anyway, or so I thought, and we'd be back home within the half hour. So I could hold out. Or so I thought. With each step, the itch intensified. We looked at the toy aisle, and I saw a gold mine of Dragon Ball Z CCG cards from Score Z. Something I have never seen at the Goodwill before. I mean, I've seen Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon cards, an abundance of... Did I say Goodwill?
Yeah, you did.
Screw it. I was at the Goodwill, okay? I was at a Goodwill. I've never seen Dragon Ball Z cards. This binder was full of rare foils, promos, Cell Saga personality sets, and I had to get this. It was only marked for $5. After my excitement wore off, the nagging itch came back. I thought about dropping my shorts and using the corner of our cart to itch it, but decided against it. We walked around for 10
Because there were people around, right? You didn't want to see...
No, because the corner would have been all poopy. And we'd have to be... Karen would be pushing it and be like, I don't want to touch this cart anymore.
Yeah, but what if you're sitting there itching your ass on this cart and people are walking by? looking at you doing this. Oh, he must be one of the workers there.
It's Goodwill.
Yeah, it's Goodwill.
Phones.
There's not no high-class people. They were, his butt itches. He's itching his butt on the cart. They wouldn't have cared. We walked around for about 10 more minutes, but it felt like 2 hours because of the itching intensified. We got in line, and of course there was only one checker and 15 people in line. I had to get these cards, so I waited in line. After about 5 minutes of waiting, I had enough. I came up with a plan. I told Karen that I was going to try on some of these clothes that I found, and I'll be back real quick. I walked down the clothes aisle and grabbed my savior, a pair of size 8 young adult jean shorts off the rack. In one switch motion, without stopping, I snatched it off the hanger and headed to the fitting room. I locked the door behind me, dropped my shorts, put one leg on the bench for leverage, and started scratching my itch with those shorts. Oh, it felt so good.
Why didn't you go to the bathroom?
Their bathrooms are gross, though.
Their
But they
bathrooms
have
are,
toilet paper.
and it's not that bad.
Their bathrooms are so gross.
I've went in a
Goodwill.
porta potty before.
That's gross. Their bathrooms always smell like urine and
See
poop.
my school's bathrooms.
That's the price you pay when you have to itch your ass. You have to put up with that.
No, shorts were like no one's gonna buy those.
Not now.
Nobody wears jean shorts.
I'm wearing jean shorts right now.
Those are jeans.
I was yesterday.
They're shorts.
Oh my!
Jean shorts aren't cool.
I don't know. I just
I
don't
wore
expect
them.
that.
I was
So,
up here.
yeah. So, it felt so good when I was scratching. I was in heaven. Sweet relief. After what seemed like an infinity of scratching, I was satisfied, but didn't know what to do with the shorts. So I folded them up, bacon streaks and all. And it didn't help that the shorts were light blue, so you could clearly see the bacon streaks. I folded them up and put them in the corner in the fitting room underneath the bench and walked out. I exited the dressing room stealthily and went back to Karen waiting in line. We were almost done. Then I noticed a female worker checking all the fitting rooms for unwanted clothing. Oh no. I hope she doesn't unfold those shorts.
Well, she'd have to look under the bench, too. And, no one in their right mind is going to pay that much attention to the fitting rooms. Just look in, leave.
Yeah, I was hoping. She enters the room that I used. We are nowhere near close to checking out. I want to just leave. Not 2 seconds later, I hear, "Oh, that's nasty."
Oh, that's nasty. Oh, that's nasty.
Oh, well, I guess she found the bacon.
I just don't know why you didn't use the bathroom.
They are so gross. Anyway, everyone was looking over there to see what was so nasty, except me, because I know what's nasty. Karen then asked, "What did you do?" I told her, and she says, "Brad, that's so gross." But she's used to it, though. She really does put up with a lot. One time my nose was dripping at a Target, and instead of walking back to the bathrooms...
The clean bathrooms.
The clean bathrooms, yeah, Target has good bathrooms. I just grabbed a shirt off the rack and blew my nose.
Oh!
And put it back on the rack.
What if we bought... What? You guys really don't like her.
And this was when we were still dating, too, so she still stuck with me.
You weren't married, and she.
Yep.
What?
Anyway, we check out, and I go in my car, and I'm going to tell you about my accomplishment. And I text you from Karen's phone. I said, "I just used a pair of shorts at the Goodwill to wipe my butt." And then I was like, "Oh, shoot, I sent that from Karen's phone." I text you, "This is Brad, by the way."
Yeah, it didn't like surprise me. Like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, you didn't think it was Karen texting you that?
No, not at all. If I did it, I maybe thought she would have been on drugs or something.
Yeah. But I was surprised you didn't even like call or anything to see what happened.
Didn't have to call. I knew.
Tell him at least buy the Dragon Ball cards.
Yeah, I bought the Dragon Ball cards.
Okay.
Well, this was recent.
Yeah, it was like last year.
Yeah,
Wait, what?
it was during our last podcast.
Yep, last year sometime. Not when I was young. Last year. So I hope you enjoyed those stories. We'll be right back with our tournament report. Pod Z CCG will be right back. Welcome back to Pod Z CCG. Here we go with our tournament report. Adventures in Comics and Games, June 1st, 2015. 9 people playing. Brad with Blue Ginyu, me with Black Krillin, Jordan with Black Ginyu, JJ with Black Nappa, Chris with Red Tien, Scott with Black Krillin, Dylan with Saiyan Vegeta, Nick with Blue Gohan, Kelly, Brad's new best friend, with Black Ginyu. So, round 1. Hold on. So, what's up? Sam and Logan's not playing. Are you guys going to play next week?
I am.
Round 1?
It was me against Nick's Blue Gohan. This game was over before it started. I knew he was running Blue, Ball, Gohan, Ally. But he did get 4 balls out by turn 3, so I had to start capturing him. He did have some blue tricks up his sleeve, but I was able to recycle my Destructo Discs and hit him for 6 life. I hit him probably 5 times with Destructo Discs during that game. I never lost control. And it was
6 life, because you had ball 1 out?
Yep.
Mastery?
I captured his ball 1 and my mastery.
Cool.
I never lost control of the game, and it was a nice win to start off my trek to victory. Round 2 was against Chris's Red Tien. Now, Chris is a very good Pokemon player, and we're using JJ's Red Tien deck. Chris never caught a break against me. I had a nice field setup with Smoothness Drill, some Black Power-Ups, and Visiting the Past, and he entered against me with Red Observation. So he used it, paid the 5 stages, and then saw, oh wait, I have to go down to 0? And he was like, can I take that back?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I don't care. I knew he wasn't going to win. I said, yeah, you can take it back. And he didn't enter combat that turn. I remember that. So I draw my 3, put down a few more things, pass. The next turn, he draws, and he said, I'm entering. So he enters this time. He uses, what did he use? Oh, the Tien move to gain 2 anger, Tien's prep stance.
Yeah.
So he uses that. I'm like, whatever, I want him to get off his level 1. I Krillin Power.
Because you hate looking at the level 1 card too?
That doesn't bother me. I don't like how he could recycle that card with level 1. So I use Krillin's Power. He times it. I sphere his time. He's like, can I stop it again? I said, no, you have to take the damage. So he takes the damage. He then confrontations. He must have pulled confrontation from the Tien prep stance, because there's no way you're entering combat without confrontationing first.
Yeah.
So he confrontations. I had a second sphere in my hand, so I sphere him again. And I could tell he's upset with this point, and he sees that I also have a heroic plan. So he gets to level 2 eventually, but then I throw him with Wall Breaker. Yeah. He gets to level 2 eventually, but after I throw a Wall Breaker on him, he scoops. He's like, there's no way I'm winning. I said, alright, so that's my second win. Third, Dylan, Saiyan Vegeta. The second combat tore me apart. I had out Smoothness Drill and was holding onto a confrontation and a time. He enters and uses the MVP of the game, Saiyan Domination. I can't play any events that combat. So it doesn't help when I draw a Black Power-Up, Visiting the Past, and a Black Searching Technique. I take a ton of damage because I can't stop anything. But I start turning it around with my mill and my, searching techniques. And I make the game about even with some blinding energy moves and some black power-ups. The last combat, he had 7 life cards left. I am holding... He enters combat. I have a Black Taunt, Black Scout Maneuver, Black Foreshadowing, Black Adaptation, and a Physical block. All 4 out of 5 of my cards were events. He enters with Saiyan Domination again. I then use Krillin's Power. He takes 4 life cards, Endurancing 1 away with Endurance. Now he has 3 life cards left. He does a Saiyan Elbow Drop. I use Black Finger Block. I Searching Technique to get rid of 2 cards, leaving with him just 1 card left. And there's nothing I could do. He kills me.
I guess you should have Searching Technique for his Endurance. That would have helped you.
But I don't think it still would have killed him.
No,
Actually,
yeah, if I would have done that first, that
It
might have
would've.
worked, yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if he had an energy block or not.
And you didn't know what his true life deck count was.
Yeah.
Alright, so it's my turn playing my blue Ginyu. Round 1, I get a bye, of course. So I get to watch everyone else play. Kelly, the new guy, was playing black Ginyu against Jordan's black Ginyu.
So what's this guy's deal? Is he like a seasoned player or what?
He seems like it, but he kind of made a few little minor misplays, which I'll go over. But he seems like a good player. Jordan gets searching technique first turn. I'm trying to send him telepathic messages to enter and use it to banish Goldo and Jeese. He doesn't get my psychic transmission though. He ends up losing. Chris was playing Dylan. Chris, who hasn't played the game since set 2 release, was playing JJ's Red TN deck, as Brandon said. He has a severe disadvantage for 1, not ever playing with this deck, and 2, he was a bit rusty due to not playing for so long. Even though he was able to get to TN level 4, he just barely lost the match. And Brandon was playing Nick. Brandon won. JJ's Black Nappa was paired against Scott's Black Krillin. JJ ended up losing the match, so I was going to have to face Black Krillin, played by Scott or Brandon, Black Ginyu, played by Kelly, or Saiyan Vegeta, played by Dylan. I was hoping for Saiyan Vegeta or Black Ginyu. The next pairings were announced, and it came round 2. My blue Ginyu versus Kelly's black Ginyu. Kelly's very eccentric, I would say. This was the first time coming to Abrams, and I didn't know what to expect. I knew I had to keep my betrayals for Jace and Goldo at this point. I also had 2 blue fears, so that was going to help me as well. The key to winning this match is going to have to be out having more key allies than him. We roll 2 dice for high roll. He rolls a 5 and I roll a 4.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that double 2s, I couldn't believe it. So he goes first. He puts down Black Power Up and enters. This only means one thing. He's got to have Black Scout maneuver, and he's going to go after my betrayals. He does have Black Scout, but he doesn't use it for Blue Betrayal. He names Overpowering Attack.
Op attack.
Op Attack. His words.
So did you know what that was at first?
I knew what it was. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to figure out Op is OP attack.
Okay.
I was like, okay, Overpowering Attack? He's like, yeah. I could live with that. I mean, I have Lunar Rays in my deck still. I still have Ginyu's power to get my allies out. And I had Betrayal in my hand. I had Betrayal, Lunar Ray, and Frieza. I Ginyu. He starts taking damage before I even announce, so good, I get Goldo for a block since I didn't have a block in my hand. He Ginyu's for Jeese. I Goldo it. I then Betrayal as Jeese. Biggest mistake of my life. Not because of it making me lose the game, but because I would hear about this for the rest of the tournament, and I'll probably hear about it next Monday when I go back to the tournament.
About what?
You'll see. I thought I was going to get powered up on, but he passed. I then Lunar Raid to bring Ginyu down to 0. He took it and passed. I passed. My go. I dropped Frieza down and passed. He draws, throws down Visiting the Pass, and enters. I thought for sure he would Visiting, but he didn't. He hurts himself by using Body Switch to get to Ginyu 2 before he uses Ginyu 1. And then he eventually uses Ginyu's power to bring Nappa out, so he shuts off his own setups. That's great for me, so I don't have to waste a turn to get Nappa out.
Wait, you didn't have any setups at this point? You don't run setups, right?
No.
But why would he get Nappa out? Did you use Ginyu's power to get Nappa?
Yeah.
Why?
He doesn't know.
I don't know. Maybe he thought I ran setups, because he asked me after the game, you don't run that blue stance card that lets you get allies? And I said, no, I don't run setups.
Is that Nappa?
Yeah, because I have Nappa. By mid-game, he was at level 3, Ginyu, and I was still at level 1.
How?
Body switches, and then Ginyu's anger. Ginyu's power.
No, how are you still at 1? You didn't just...
I didn't get any body
Oh, okay.
switches. He has out Berter, Golda, Frieza, and Nappa. Nobody that could attack. I was at level 1 sitting pretty with Goldo, Jace, Frieza, and Raccoon. He had about 11 cards left. I draw, my turn, 3 blocks come up. I'm sitting there at 2 above with Ginyu. I'm pleased at this point. I enter combat and pass. Kelly seems confused. He has 8 cards left. He throws attacks at me and I block all of them. Combat's over, his go. He draws, he's now down to 5 cards. He passes combat, my turn. I draw into 3 blocks again and enter and again pass. He's down to 2 life cards and he's really confused at this point. He shakes his head and throws his hands up in the air like, what are you doing? Why are you entering and passing? But then he finally catches on. By the time he catches on, it's too late. I've been milling his cards, so he'd have to draw 6 cards every turn, basically. He black lunges. I blue guard to mastery and draw stare down. I stare down his only attack. He sits there for about 2 minutes, not doing anything. He then offers his hand for a shake and scoops. There's nothing he could do. At this point, all I could hear him mutter to himself whenever no one's around him. He betrayed my Jeez. He betrayed my Jeez. And then he came up to me and was very perplexed. He's like, what am I supposed to do? Grab a non-important ally like Berter or Frieza first, and then you betrayal that? But I didn't want to tell him. I use my betrayals for key allies, not for random allies. I didn't have the heart to tell him.
Yeah, it's funny because he walked up to Jordan and said, what's your dad's name? And Jordan said it. He's like, Paul? Jordan said, no, Brett. He walks over to you, Brett. And then he just starts going on about the whole Jason betrayal thing. It was hilarious.
I wonder how he gets
Why did
Paul.
you just say Paul?
Because his mind thinks so fast, it doesn't keep up with slow talk. It's like he just took 2 shots. It's like he took 5-hour energies before he played in the tournament. Round 3 was my blue Ginyu against Jordan's black Ginyu. Jordan switched to black Ginyu but was not able to pull out the win. I went undefeated. So did Dylan. It would come down to tiebreakers. I really wanted that promo Blue Terror that went to first place. It seemed to take forever for the last round to finish. And due to tiebreakers, I pulled a win. So I got first place Blue Terror. So we'll be right back. That's our tournament report. We'll be right back with our deck doctor. Stay tuned.
I need to stand up for the rest of the podcast. My butt's sweating.
So welcome back to Pod Z CCG. Time for the deck doctor. This was a really cool deck doctor. We got some rolling questions in from someone named Eric Bannerman. He writes, hey guys, I'm hoping you could help me. I have a few questions about rulings. I asked the most experienced player at my game store, and he isn't sure on most of the answers.
So did you want me to read the questions and you read the answers?
Yeah, we could do it that way.
Okay. Question 1. Let us pretend like my friend is playing with a Namekian deck. I am playing with my blue deck. He has 1 Dragon Ball left on the field. And I use Blue Trick. He says I can't steal it because of his Namekian Mastery's power. Who is right?
Well, Namekian Mastery works like this. When your opponent has a lone Dragon Ball out in play, the only way it cannot be captured is by critical damage. So it could be captured by Face Smash or Blue Trick.
Number 2. If I am playing against a black deck and they make me discard my Dragon Ball from my hand from their black mastery power, does it go to the discard pile or do I just rejuvenate it?
Well, once the Dragon Ball hits your discard pile, it automatically goes to the bottom of your life deck. Dragon Balls are greatly protected in this game. Even if your friend plays an attack that says, life cards are banished from this attack, you can still use Endurance on those cards and the Dragon Ball still goes to the bottom of your life deck instead of getting banished.
Yeah, and it's not considered being rejuvenated. It just goes to the bottom of your life deck.
Yeah.
Number 3. I'm using my blue deck. This guy loves it. He's got like a ton of different decks. He's got Namekian, he's got...
No, his friend is playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm using my blue deck, and my friend is playing his red anger deck. To win by anger, doesn't he need to get to 6 anger on level 4? He says no.
No, you only need to obtain 6 anger to advance personality levels. The rulebook states that you only need 5 anger to win once you're at level 4. The mastery does not override that.
Number 4. What happens if I get to Tien's level 4 mid-combat after I use an attack? Can I dig through my discard pile and bring that attack back out to use it again that combat?
Tien's power states your first attack this combat gets remain 1. You would need to wait until next combat to get that benefit. You wouldn't dig the card out of your discard pile.
Number 5. My friend is playing with Captain Ginyu deck. I play an attack, which he blocked with Goldo. On my next action, he Blue Betrayals Goldo. Does Goldo's power go away?
No, once Goldo uses a power, it remains for the whole combat. This is what's known as a floating effect. Here's a quick pro tip from Torment. If you use Blue Betrayal first, you can banish Goldo before he decides to block it. That tip's for free.
Number 6. My friend played Red Shoulder Grab on me. Does he get to use critical damage effect every time he uses an attack that combat?
Yes, your opponent's attacks are considered to deal critical damage, but only if they hit. Think of it this way. Do you deal critical damage if your opponent blocks your attack? No. So if you block his attacks, he does not do critical damage. Even if he does a physical attack for 0 stages and it goes through, he's considered to do critical damage.
What happens if you blue rest something that does critical damage?
That's a good one.
It's prevented, but it still goes through.
Yeah, it's going through.
But it's prevented, so it does no life cards.
Actually,
It still does critical damage.
yeah,
It
because
hits.
it's doing the critical
Yeah.
damage.
Number 7. I want to build Blue Vegeta to abuse the power of Blue Ki buildup. Have any of you guys thought of this? I think it's a great idea.
That's his question?
Yeah.
I can honestly say, Eric, that I have never thought about using a Blue Vegeta deck to abuse Blue Ki buildup. I really hope that works for you. If I'm being honest here, I do not know how Vegeta would abuse Blue Ki buildup.
That's what I was thinking.
His level 3,
What?
But
That's
Blue
just
Ki
plus
buildup,
3 plus 3.
If
you raise your anger one.
does Blue Ki build up raise your anger? Oh, okay.
But what's Ki buildup do?
That's that setup that
Yeah.
does energy for 7.
So how could he use it?
Because Vegeta level 3.
What
The
does that
Vegeta level
do?
3 can get a...
Anyway, I'm sure he's got a plan for it. Let us know how it works out for you, Eric.
So we'll be right back with our Panini Pansy card of the week, Orange Crashing Drill.
Yes!
Is that what Orange Crashing Drill?
Yep.
So stay tuned for that.
Welcome back to Pod Z CCG. Our Panini card of the week was going to be Orange Crashing Drill. We unfortunately ran out of time again. We hope to get to another one next week. Thanks for stopping by, Orange Crashing Drill. But you are no longer needed.
See you on the side of the road.
Oh, he cried.
Yeah. So until then, keep rocking the dragon.